YouTube, Reckless Reds here. Got another video for you guys. This time I'm gonna branch off into a different topic. I'm actually gonna talk about advice for talking to a recruiter if you're interested in joining the military. So I have a little bit of experience with that. I did a little bit of time in the Marine Corps, and now I'm going to the Michigan Army National Guard. So I do have some advice for some of the younger people who are interested in joining the military. First thing I would say, you'll probably hear this from a lot of people, but it's definitely something you should do. Make sure you research before you go into a recruiting office. You want to make sure you pick the branch that is right for you. You want to look at what the different branches have to offer you, because even though each branch has E1, E2, E3, and you're paid the same based on your rank, there are different benefits that you get from joining each service, as far as paying back your tuition or enlistment bonuses, being able to pick your job, being able to pick where you're located. And there's also different components, like is active duty best for you, or do you just want to go in the reserves or the National Guard? So make sure you research and pick something that is what you actually want to do before you step into a recruiting office, because a recruiter's job is to fill a slot. So they have slots already picked out, slots assigned to them that they need to fill. Like, say for instance, in the Army, if they need a bunch of cooks, they're gonna try to persuade you to pick what they need to fill, because a recruiter's job is to fill the slot. Your job is to get what you need out of the military. The military is gonna try to get what it needs out of you. So the military doesn't care what your goals in life are. So you wanna make sure you have those goals laid out, and when you go into the recruiting office, then you have all that stuff already researched and you already know what you wanna do. Next, you need to make sure you're studying for your ASVAB. If you're not a very good test taker, you want to study for that. It's not the hardest thing that you'll do, but it's very important that you score high on it, because the higher you score on it, the more choices in jobs you will have to choose from, which is very important. You want to have the highest score possible, so you'll have the most options possible. Options are always a good thing. Third of all, you want to pick a job that is going to benefit you in the long run. That also requires some research. So you want to pick a job where you can compare it to a job in the civilian side and say, okay, if I were to do this outside of the military, I'd be making a lot of money. Trust me, in the long run, you're gonna be glad you did that and didn't pick something that is not gonna serve you at all. But having said that, I wanna say something about people who choose combat arms or infantry, things of that nature. Just a disclaimer, I don't have anything against people who are in the infantry. Definitely am thankful for the sacrifice that you're willing to make, because I'm not willing to do that. When I went to MEPS last time, I talked to a lot of young guys who were on their way to sign contracts and swear in and things of that nature. Everyone who I was in the bus with on the way to our hotel from MEPS said they were going into infantry. Nothing wrong with that. I just want to make sure I let you guys know, because I felt like I should say this to them, but I didn't, because I didn't want to discourage them from picking that. But the infantry is not going to be like the movies or the video games. I know you hear that all the time, but I know the lure that the infantry has, because you're seeing these movies, or you're seeing whatever you're seeing in the media, it makes it seem very cool, and there's gonna be guitar music playing in the background, and you're gonna be blowing stuff up and shooting at people, and it's gonna be all fun and games. I've never served in the infantry, so take that for what it's worth. But I will say, I know a lot of people who did serve in the infantry and who came back, and I haven't seen too many people who are in the infantry who are doing well now in any respect. Majority of people I know who are in the infantry either have a very shitty job, or they're pretty crazy, or they're just messed up physically. Majority of them that I know in my life have a very short temper when they get angry. They're cool people, they're laid back for the most part, and don't really say a whole lot. But they have, like, when they get angry, they get really angry, and it's kind of a big deal. And also, I don't know any that are really successful career-wise. I don't know any people who are in the infantry who are making more than $15 an hour, and that's just the honest truth to it. So take that for what it's worth. If you choose infantry, best of luck to you. I would recommend against that. If you were my son or daughter, I would tell you to pick something where you can actually translate it to the civilian side a little better. With that being said, you want to listen to the people in your life who love you. Even if you decide not to take their advice, you want to objectively listen to people who care about you, because if the only voice you're listening to is your recruiter, and not the people who love you and who know a little bit more about the world, you may end up doing something that you really don't want to do. And then you're going to regret your time in service. You're going to be a shitbag private or lieutenant or whatever you choose to, whichever route you choose to go. And you're going to hate yourself. You're going to hate your decision. So make sure you listen to people in your life who care about you and do your own research and make your own decision. And lastly, a big thing that no one really told me about, you want to stay out of trouble, because you want to make sure you're not getting traffic tickets. You don't want any DUIs. You don't want any misdemeanors, felonies, anything. As much as possible, if your goal is to join the military, stay out of trouble, because everything you do, they're going to find out about, and it can affect what you want to do. Prime example of that, right now I'm trying to get into military intelligence. Military intelligence requires a top secret security clearance. For a top secret security clearance, they have to do an extensive background check on my life, meaning they want to know everything that I've ever done, every place I've ever lived, basically every person I've ever talked to, everything. So that's going to affect their decision on whether or not to approve me for that job. So it's just as important as the ASVAB is. You can have a really high ASVAB score, which I did score very high on the ASVAB and qualify for almost any job in the Army based on my ASVAB scores. But I have some stuff in my past, that may not give me the option to pick the job that I want to pick because I was stupid when I was 19 or however old I was. So that's just my advice. Definitely recommend taking that seriously. Listen to your family. Pick a job that you want to do, but a job that's going to benefit you in the long run. And thank you for your service and your choice to serve. Rate This Red signing off. Y'all have a good day. I'll see you with my next video. It'll probably be something related again to the military. So